and I thought I would just drop it like at the Art Council building.
Sure, perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
What kind of
see
dog do you
see
have?
everybody? Come on. See everybody.
Oh, hi puppy.
Oh, how cute you are. she's a nutcase. Come on. Oh, why is it recording?
I don't know. Crystal, are you recording or am I?
No, we do normally record it and then we edit it
Gotcha.
so that we take off the beginning and anything at the end and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
And I believe we should be streaming live now, but I'm gonna double check. I'm trying to connect this with Facebook at the same time as we're on Zoom, which I think we did last time, but on a personal page instead of on our Facebook page.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yep, it's on the page. I see
Good
it.
job, Crystal.
So how these normally work, we wait probably till about 5:35 in case people are kind of coming on a little bit later. And then if nobody else comes on, we'll just keep moving forward and people might drop in later as a casual thing. So.
All right.
And if anyone wants to put questions in the chat box, they can, and we can get to them when we have time and structure and things like that. So I will try to watch if there's questions coming from Facebook, and I will watch if there's questions coming from Zoom.
So I can watch this on Facebook?
I believe you should be able to. Right now, all three of us are
I'm gonna
on.
go try that.
Okay.
I'm gonna go try that, then I don't have to be here.
Bye, Maggie.
Hey.
It was interesting trying to get that all set up this morning.
Oh, I bet. Technology, man, it's great when it like works, but once you seem to learn it, then like over this whole last school year, Zoom has become incredibly easy now for me. But boy, in the beginning, we were all wrestling, trying to figure that out for presentations. And
yeah. I was trying to, there was like there's a captioning service that it's just like an AI. It's not a real person, but it does captions. And I was trying that earlier today, but I couldn't find a way for that to work and live stream at the same time. Like they were using the same like app spot, so I couldn't do both. So that didn't quite happen either. No captioning live right now, but
maybe next time.
Maybe next time. Yep. And we had, so we tell people to request the Zoom link. And I think we had 3 people request it. And then 1 said that they had something come up. So that's,
yeah,
sometimes how you can expect how many people are going to be here.
And then tomorrow still works all right if I come like 3:45 to 4-ish.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yep. So, yep. Oh, I see we have 1 viewer on Facebook. I wonder if that is Maggie from.
Probably.
I can't tell who it is from here.
Hi, Maggie.
Well, we're getting close to that 5:35. I will probably just do a short introduction of myself, and then I'm gonna read off an introduction for you, and you can say a few words, and then we'll play your virtual tour video, which is a little bit long, so you can feel free to talk about any of the images that are coming up if you want, or we can just.
I thought you did such a wonderful job with that. We'll just let it roll. That was fantastic.
Good. I'm glad that you enjoyed that, and that'll stay up. So I mean, you can use that, on your web page or anything if you want to just have it there.
Okay, thank you.
So I'll introduce myself. I'm Crystal Lawaji. I'm the marketing coordinator for SMOC. I am calling in from Marshall, Minnesota. And I think that's about it for me. I'm going to read off what we have on our website about Nicole. So just a very short bio. So Nicole Zempel was born and raised in Granite Falls, Minnesota. She is a nature artist, outdoor enthusiast, microphile, forager, public speaker, writer, and photographer. She aims to inspire new relationships with the natural world by sharing what she's learned and observed by way of art exhibits, art classes, and other interactive events and presentations about the magical and mysterious world that exists all around us. Nicole received a SMOC Individual Artist Grant in 2020, and that's what enabled her to have her in our gallery, because we just showcase grantees in our gallery. So if you want to say a few words at all, Nicole, to introduce yourself.
Yeah, thank you, Crystal. So Nicole Zempel from Granite Falls. I was born and raised here. I left for like 5 years, and I've been back now about 20 years. And I can say I really, really have started loving this place probably in the last 10 years, since I really took to the rivers and to the woods and to the prairie, and I am never bored, and there's just always so much to learn. And so, yeah, I guess that's just where the exhibit sort of stems from, is what I am seeing or what nature is showing me when I am out there on my little woods walks or prairie walks.
Awesome. So I am going to, oh, looks like Margaret is coming back on. I wonder if our Facebook one wasn't quite working.
The Art Council building.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna do my share screen, and I'm just gonna share the virtual exhibit then, and we'll let that play.
All right.
All right. So I looked at my email and there were more requests for people to join. So hopefully they got the Zoom link and they'll be able to get on. Looks like we've got Lee Canton for a little bit here, but he might not be back since his screen is black again. So tell us where you're calling in from, Nicole.
I am calling in from my front, well, the side of my house, actually, just my little front sitting area. Like I said, I've been inside staring at a screen all week for a conference. And so I thought, you know what? I just want to be outside. And so this is actually the first time I'm doing this from my phone, but it works.
Yeah, it's working.
But beautiful evening, nice breeze.
Lee Canton, did you have any questions or comments for Nicole?
Hi, Lee.
Hi, Nicole. How are you?
Good. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, I'm sorry there aren't more, but nice summer nights, huh?
That's what I was telling Crystal before we even got started. It is so gorgeous out.
And Jeannie says hi. She is here too.
Hi, Jeannie.
Oh, I bet she can't hear you if I had headsets on.
Oh,
Here. Now she can hear.
hi, Jeannie.
Hi, Nicole. Congratulations on your showing.
Thank you.
Hi.
She's outdoors.
Oh,
Yeah.
can you hear that?
So Nicole, I'm gonna ask you maybe a boring, just short answer question, but do you have a favorite color?
Yellow, I would always say yellow, and it's the first thing that pops into mind now. But honestly, I don't really think I
What would
have
you like here?
like a
Should I
favorite.
just listen to this? Do you want? Oh, okay. All right. Good.
You are not the first artist that has said yellow when asked that question on these calls.
Oh, but it depends too, right? Like most of my wardrobe is actually like gray and brown and black, so it just depends.
Mhm.
Gray and brown, black. Do you like tend to like warm or cool colors?
For I guess my wardrobe being it's usually dark like that, and I don't know why, I just really gravitate toward like grays for clothing. But if it's anything else, just all colors really. My home is very colorful inside, so.
Do you have any of your own photographs hanging in your home?
I don't actually. Maybe I will eventually, just a couple that maybe I really, really like holds a special place for me. But otherwise, no, I guess oddly enough, maybe, but no.
Do you have other artwork hanging up in your house?
I do. I'm a big fan of Brad Hall's work, and so many of his lino prints just resonate with me. A lot of his kind of water and river themed ones or gravel road ones, love those. So I have Brad Hall, like some of the meander works, like the main featured one that goes on the brochure. I have a couple of those. One of them was done by Audrey Arner. It was the hands in the river. Otherwise, like really cool, like old thrift store photos, like of canoes, basically, like people out canoeing.
I think it's a fun question to ask artists. I had ideas when I got my home that I would put a lot of my own art up and put price tags on them. So when people visited, they could like buy my pieces, And I still might do that, but I haven't yet because I buy so many other people's art that goes up right away. And then all of my stuff right now, I might put a whole bunch of it in the basement on the walls, like the really old galleries that you
That's kind of cool.
do them up and down the whole thing. So I'll see. Depends
Dude,
on
that's a cool idea. Like I could do that down in my basement because I'm now an empty nester and my son did inhabit the whole lower level. And so now that he doesn't, maybe my work could. So
I thought, it's like maybe it's just another way to like expose my own artwork and maybe sell it. You just put it all up and when people visit, they can take a look.
no, that's awesome.
We despair now as we go. We had a regional art crawl here in Ortonville over the weekend. Just a one-day event on Main Street in Ortonville. 20 some artists, I think. We can't buy anything more. We have about 1,000 square foot little cottage, and we have filled every piece of the wall with mostly other people's, but there's a lot of Jeannie's stuff too, her photographs and the like. And so we're out of space.
I think I'm definitely going to get to that point in not too long. Well, I'm sorry that we couldn't get a few of the other people.
I'm stalking.
Yeah, I see.
Hi. I'm kind of doing dinner as well.
Yeah, excuse us.
No, no
We're
problem.
also having dinner at the same time. So you're the dinner show, Nicole.
So Nicole, do you have any future plans, any big projects that you're thinking of undertaking with your art?
I usually just take things as they come. It just seems like word of mouth. I'll be doing some spore printing classes coming up in Canby, Madison, Dawson, Ivanhoe, and then here in Granite. As sometimes happens, right? It's the nature work is kind of weather dependent. So I had to postpone what was already supposed to happen into now the end of this month instead, because it was so dry out. There was just no spore printable mushrooms really to be had. So fingers crossed for some moisture. And when I get back from my trip, hopefully we'll be able to continue on with the spore printing. But otherwise, I think what I need to remember is always to take that time to get out to the woods or to the prairie and don't ever lose that, because I might be getting busier. And so now I'm to that exciting point of learning how to balance everything. So, but I'm grateful for that,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's exciting. You have quite a few classes coming up then.
Yeah. Yep. And I don't know, talking about mushrooms or kind of like the science of what spores are and why spore prints are used, people seem interested in it. And it's actually the spore prints, photographing those, that really kind of started everything, really.
Mm-hmm.
I hang around with John White, and,
Yeah.
And you, like you, a great deal of what he's photographing, it requires intense amounts of patience to show up and not have the light be right, not have the conditions be right, not have the wildlife cooperate with you. Does that ever grow into frustration? I mean,
No.
that you have to react. You cannot control.
No, I actually love that question too. Slightly frustrated when, the weather doesn't cooperate, so I have to postpone something. But again, I can't really be frustrated about that either. And people are understanding. As far as getting, say, the photographs, I never take any of those things actually into consideration. I just go out there. And sometimes I might be looking, let's say, for mushrooms, right? But okay, it's so dry, there are no mushrooms. My eye is going to go to something else. There is literally always something. And it started going into these little micro habitats that exist, like beds of lichen, moss and moss spores, slime mold. That's another thing that I'm just super passionate about. So yeah, all these teeny tiny microscopic worlds. And so there's, for me, for what I like to photograph, there's never any shortage. It could be a decaying leaf, and that's awesome. There's beauty in it. And if the light happens to be right, that's great. But I don't know, I just photograph what I see, and I just use my cell phone doing it. So I'm pretty laid back about the whole thing.
Cool.
Nicole, you said that you're doing the spore prints kind of started it all. So were you doing spore prints before you were eating all these things that you find?
You guys ask like the best questions. Crystal, so do you. I love, okay, so for me, there were certain edibles that I mean are very easy to ID as far as mushrooms. But then I started evolving into ones that are a little bit harder to ID. And part of the process of making sure that I had what I thought and hoped I had was through conducting a spore print. And so I read up about how to do that, and it's really very simple. And so the color of those spores is used in part of the IDing process. Like example, I was spore printing what I had thought and hoped was commonly called velvet foot mushroom. Now there's a poisonous look-alike called the Galerina. They look very similar, but they're spore prints. The Galerina, the poisonous one, is a rust color spore print. And the kind, the velvet foot, the edible, what I was hoping to have was like a white spore print. Sure enough, it was the white spore print. And so I went ahead with that. But that's why I started doing them. And then I just realized, this is kind of neat and kind of very detailed in all the different colors. And so I just started photographing them, and people were curious about them.
That's really cool.
Was your understanding, I mean, was it art first or edibles? It was what led you out there to look at these things?
My just curiosity. I actually didn't know what I was looking for. Like, I purchased my home, and there's some prairie land that butts up to my backyard. And I lived here for about a year, and I was just so curious that over the winter I had bought some ID books, and then come spring I hit the land out behind my house with just my ID book, and I wanted to learn the names of the plants. And then with that, I started learning about root systems and soil health. And then seeking out more plants led me to the woods, which then I saw mushrooms, so it's like everything is just so connected. So it wasn't any one real thing other than just being curious and wanting to learn about something I knew nothing about. And now, like, this whole world has just opened up, and it's enriched my life. And I think just by virtue of being with the land out there, whether I'm paddling the rivers or woods or prairie, I am just filled with like a great sense of peace and joy. So it's also had that effect on me that, I had never expected that my life could feel so rich and full, but it does.
Nice.
I want to, 7 years ago, we retired out of Minneapolis out to Ortonville. And dramatic change in environment and stimulation, everything like that. And for both of us, it has been a very stimulating experience.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious, you bought your house. What was your environment before that?
I'd always rented. So just from, 2-bedroom apartments, because, I had my son as well. He's 21 now. But yeah, I've always been a renter, and, it was just kind of one of those things where I just decided I wanted to own something and put money towards something that way every month as opposed to rent. But now I also realize I can't just call a landlord and say, hey, my heater, hey, my air, I'm responsible for that. But yeah, that's just what caused me to want to, own a home. And then location was a big deal for me. And I just feel like this was meant to be. I mean, I'm on like a dead end street and I have all that prairie land in my backyard and I'm in town, but in my backyard, I feel like I am camping somewhere.
Is that in Granite or Montevideo?
It's in Granite Falls,
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
kind of by, do you know the Martin Marietta Quarry?
No.
Okay, so that's very near where I live, and actually all that prairie land in my backyard is like their buffer land, and so that will never be. They said at least for the next 100 years, nothing will ever happen to that land, and I hope nothing ever does, even beyond 100 years, because it's a remnant and it is a gem, and all the life back there is just mind blowing. I have skinks right in my own backyard. That's pretty cool. And granite outcrops and prickly pear cactus. And
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
awesome.
you guys are welcome to pop by anytime. John White knows where I live. So
Okay.
All right. All right. So this isn't related to your mushrooms and it's not a question, but I do want to tell you that the photographs that you capture of the prairie, particularly when the sun is setting, are just astonishing. I confess to I've stolen at least 2 of them and saved them to my computer because they're so beautiful.
oh, that's awesome. Oh, good. No, I
So-
have a little magic prairie spot that I frequent, and there's just something special to me anyway about that spot. And it's overlooking the Yellow Medicine River. There's a big bluff there, and it's, I don't know, a little magical area.
Well, it definitely gives you that gift because, take a picture of me. I'll be beautiful. And it is.
Well, I'm glad you enjoy those.
Yeah.
Jeannie brought up within this 90-degree turn from stuff, but with us all sharing stuff on Facebook and on other things, I wonder how often people are crossing lines about using things that they don't have permission for.
Yeah.
There was, now I don't remember if it was SMOC or if it was the Minnesota Arts Council put on this workshop about copyright issues, about that over the course of this last year, musicians like myself have, record ourselves and put it up there and the like, and forgetting that that's some songwriter's piece of work. And we've gotten into real gray areas about whether, is that permitted? Should that be permitted? Do you run into things like that? I mean, that once you put them up there, people can get at them very easily and as in a way steal your intellectual properties. What do you think?
I understand those concerns by artists and they're extremely valid. I'm only speaking for myself that I guess I come at it a little bit differently. Like what Jeannie said, I love that she can go to her computer now and feel some kind of peace or calm from a prairie photograph. I feel like anything that I'm posting to Facebook or Instagram, or just putting out there, if people resonate with it and can enjoy it, I'm all for that. And I'm sure plenty of others are. And I think it just depends on the circumstances and the work and the person, but I feel like nature is like a gift, I think, for all of us. And so I guess if I can share bits of it on nature's behalf, then cool. If somebody likes something,
What I suspect it's because I am an artist and I work with artists, and so when I do that for my own. I keep it on my computer,
Yeah.
but I would never share it or print it, or like I've said to John, can I print this particular picture or something, and then often he'll give it to me as a gift, instead of, well, it hasn't happened a lot, but you wouldn't want to, I wouldn't want to just presume to to take something that isn't mine, other than to just look at it because you put it out there to be looked at, like you
Yeah,
said.
yep.
Yeah, yeah. We had a situation where someone did take someone's photograph and used it on a poster for Corn Fest, and the artist was not happy at all. And so it is an issue. They reprinted
it's-
everything and put her name on it. So yeah.
Well, and especially if that's going to be recirculated like in a public fashion.
Right,
Or like
right.
an event like that. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, mostly they want the, photograph provided by, so that they get the public relations, especially if they're monetizing their work,
Yep.
selling. So anyway, that's my thoughts. You can turn it to someone else.
We were out at John White's last night. I was
Yeah.
playing music, and we got to talking about the astonishing array of artists that we had no idea existed when we moved here from Minneapolis. I had the hubris to think I was going to come out and photograph the prairie and show people how beautiful it was. I had no idea how out of my league I was as a photographer. But it's remarkable. Yours is one of those ones that defines, really? She does that? The unusual ways that people show beauty and discover beauty is really, we've been really impressed. It might be because of the accessibility here, that we have to drive miles to connect with one another, but somehow or another, artists and their art are far more accessible, it feels like, here than they are in Minneapolis. I think especially artists with whom you can relate, people who are selling $20,000 paintings. I'm not going to be in their circle. So boy, has that been an enriching part of life, to be able to be surrounded by artists.
Oh. And you guys have been in this area now for how long did you say? 7 years?
Yeah. Yep.
Lee grew up
What-
here, so
Oh, you did?
he
Okay.
grew up in
That was gonna be my
Ortonville,
next.
so,
my next
but it was
question.
50 years, that
Yeah.
he was gone, so things changed a little. So, and now I know more people than you do, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I did not, in returning here, did not reconnect with like old classmates. Some of them are here and I see them and the like, but that was not the group that we ended up connecting with. It was John White.
Right?
Yeah,
Well,
he introduced us to a lot of people.
Yeah.
For myself too, like when I first came back, well, and it had been a while, but I found myself out to dinner one night with a group of friends, and it was John White, in fact, that pointed out, he said, Nicole, do you realize you're the only non-transplant here at this table? And I looked around and I really realized that the only person from Granite Falls was me sitting there, but I tend to gravitate toward people that didn't grow up around here because I want to hear about their life, what they've seen, and they can always look at a place with fresh eyes too. So I find it interesting, like their observations of here. So
Sure. Yeah. Somebody's doorbell.
are you there still, Crystal?
Oh yeah, I'm here.
Oh, you are. Okay. I didn't know.
I had put my voice on mute, but I had my video up. But I think with your phone, you see it differently than we do on our laptop.
Yeah, this is like totally different than how I normally see it, like on my laptop.
Yeah, you're probably seeing just whoever is talking.
That's
Mhm. It looks like Joe joined us, but doesn't have his video on. So if he,
like Joe Hauger.
yep.
Oh, neighbor Joe. Hi, guys.
Hey, how's it going? Sorry, I was having
Hey.
computer trouble and I just got it figured out. We probably missed it all.
Dude, look at you, how you have evolved. I'm gonna like call you out here. And I was the same way, but Joe had a flip phone up until like what, 2 months ago, Joe?
And
And now he's
would
like
have if the cell towers would allow me to.
he's making awesome videos. You guys have to check out his woodworking Facebook page. Oh, it's mind blowing.
Thank you very much.
Well, it's so true. And I
How do
love
we
your
find it, Joe?
Joe Hauger Woodworking on Facebook.
and he's gonna be in the Meander this year too.
Oh, good.
All right.
Joe, I have a question. The spoon that you had that video of, where you were highlighting or trying to get the light to hit the lines in the wood,
Yeah.
that was a cottonwood.
Yes.
Hi,
Cottonwood.
neighbor dudes.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that. It's so cool. Yeah, it's a piece of cottonwood. Cotton burl is what I would call it. It just has a weird green that's like waves on the ocean. It's really cool.
It's beautiful. Yeah.
Thanks.
Joe, there's a guy here in town who is working with veneers and grain patterns and the like. And I heard a word that was associated with what he did, and I kept saying marketeering, and that's not it.
I would guess it's marquetry.
Marquetry. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Okay.
Yep. I don't know a
Is-
whole lot about it. I've never tried it, but it's making kind of images or almost like drawing with wood, sort of using different colors and shades of wood to make images, and
Oh, that's
pretty
cool.
stunning. I haven't tackled any of that, so
Would the buckthorn be good for that, do you think?
yeah, buckthorn. You could do a lot with buckthorn. I've carved it, and it's a little bit. It's got a lot of little knots in it, but it's definitely workable. So, and it's
Well, you can
it's
venture over to my
cool.
half and like start taking some of that buckthorn too.
Yep, definitely.
So Nicole, I have a question for you. Do you have a favorite season?
Yes, spring. You know, I'm not the biggest fan of winter, but getting out there now since I've been doing this, makes me look at winter a little bit differently. Kind of like I need to find things that I appreciate about it. And getting out there, there are still so many things to see in the woods. And color, people always think winter is so drab. It blew my mind going out into the woods. I mean, I can still find slime mold in the winter, some edible mushrooms. So if you can't beat it, join it thing really worked out well. But I love spring, just all the new life, coming out of the ground, the smell in the air, the sunshine. But I mean, every day is a great day, right? If we have our health and, all the good things around us, every day is a good day.
Do you have a favorite time of day to go look for things?
No, I was just out at the lake over the weekend. And, I was talking to my cousin and I said, my favorite time of day is usually like between 5 and 7, because like the lake gets really calm and just something about that evening light. So I guess that or the very, very early morning, like right before the sun comes up, you can see the fog and that morning light is really beautiful.
I don't know very much about mushrooms. Like, do they react to light differently at different times of the day, or is it just like how mature they are in time wise, not like time of day?
Maturity time wise, but also, they tend to like shade and moisture. And so if the sun is, really beating down on something, that's going to speed up, their process, or they'll just kind of wrinkle up and dry out. but they typically have, you know, very short lifespans, I guess, by our standards. You know, some mushrooms are here and gone in 24 hours.
Mhm.
I have a question, and maybe it's been asked and answered already. Do you still find new species of fungi around here, or have you found it all? And are there any on your wish list? Like you're still trying to find, and it's elusive, and you're just waiting for the day when you see one cast in sunlight to the woods or something like that.
So the last part of the question, a mushroom that I will just drop to my knees and probably cry tears of joy when I see, is the fly agaric. And that is, you know, that mushroom, right? When people think mushroom, it's the red one with the white patches on the cap. And when I go now out to the Pacific Northwest, that's kind of like that mushroom's motherland. And so I'm hoping to see that when I'm out there this coming week. As far as have I seen everything? Heck no. Right now, there's about 80,000 species that are identified, with more than 1 million yet to be discovered that they're aware of. So yeah, a lot of, like, if you go to the same places, right, I can kind of figure what I'm going to see there, or what I could expect to see. But still, I am always surprised, because there's always that it could be a super teeny tiny little cup fungus, or, you know, there's always something that I've never seen before, usually every time I'm out there.
Even around here in our area,
Mhm.
still. You think?
Oh, heck yeah. Yep. I mean, we have the state park, we have the memorial park, and Skullbecken. So it's, you know, a lot of woods that we're lucky enough to have
So
around
the-
this year.
Was it Garrett, the one with the white spots? Does that grow around? That,
Oh, you're kind of cutting out. Can you say that again?
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
The
You
kids
were like,
are using. Yeah, so the red one with the white spots, does that grow around here, or is that Pacific Northwest?
farther up north in Minnesota, I have heard that people have seen the red one with the white patches, but other places in Minnesota, we have one, I guess, here in the Midwest that is like that fly agaric, but it's like a gold color instead of red, called a panther, I believe. And I have seen that, Lake Maria State Park. They've got probably the biggest variety of mushrooms that I've seen in like a park. It's pretty amazing. And they're apparently like old growth woods there. And that's also where I have found the Indian pipe plant. And that only grows now like in woods that are in healthy woods, basically.
So that red one with the white spots, I can't pronounce it correctly, but
Fly
that's
agaric?
kind of the classic
Yep.
classic mushroom, like the Smurfs lived under
Yeah.
in the Smurf cartoon, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Have
And I
you've
don't know
never
why,
found
but
one
I
of
just
those?
really want to see that mushroom.
Huh, cool. Very good.
Nicole, we have to say goodbye.
Okay.
By the clock on the wall, I see. Thank you, and Christy, thank you for doing these. I mean, I would not judge these at all by the numbers, but having this availability, having the access to artists is really a wonderful thing. Thanks for doing it.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for joining us.
Thanks, Nicole.
Bye.
Oh,
Bye. Thanks, you guys.
bad.
So sorry we were late.
Hey, better late than never. Oh, hi, dude.
I was not on. We were signing in, then there's a link, and then I got the link. Thanks, Crystal, for the link, by the way.
Yep.
And then supper happened, and that was a distraction. And then I saw the link and clicked on it, and then I had to install Zoom. So it was a whole funny thing. But anyway, cool.
Well, we're glad you're here.
Good stuff.
Yeah, and you're not the only one that got the link late. I looked when we were started already, and I was like, oh, I've got 3 emails from people that tried to
Well,
come
that's
after. 6:30. So
That's a classic human move, right? That do things in the last minutes that you can. And so I figured maybe you'd be watching emails, but
yeah, I'm watching multiple different things. So I checked eventually.
cool. So is this recorded? We can playing.
Yeah, this is being recorded, and it is being streamed on our Facebook page right now. So it's on Zoom and it's on Facebook. But we record them, and then we usually actually pay someone to do captioning on it, and then we'll publish it again on our YouTube as a video and on our Facebook as a video, so people can watch it and you can watch what you missed.
Cool. Good deal. It's a neat idea.
Yeah.
I got my questions in, so that's good. I can let you guys know if you're ready to go.
Yeah, we're pretty much getting to the wrap up of 6:30, so good timing. I'm glad you got some questions in.
So,
Thanks. Congratulations, Nicole.
thank you. Bye, neighbor dudes.
You wave bye-bye. There you go.
Bye.
There's Rachel. Bye. Yeah.
Right. Well, that's a pretty natural wrap up, at least. I didn't have to like cut anybody off and be like, this is
No,
cool.
this was great. The questions were fantastic too. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Sometimes, when there's not a lot of people, it sometimes does give the artist a little bit more time to talk to. So that's not always a bad thing either. And
No, this was so fun. So much fun.
we do get quite a good response on people watching afterwards and asking for the link afterwards and stuff like that too. So
Well, sure. And again, it is beautiful out. So
yes,
but I
there's
appreciate too. I echo Lee's sentiment there. Like, this is wonderful what you guys at SMOC do. And so I just want to say thank you for that.
thank you. We couldn't do it without the artists. Okay, well, thank you for coming on and being in our gallery, and I will see you tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Awesome. All right. See ya.
Yep.